agency staff.
Joe Grenga, project manager.
Mike Dudley, agency staff.
Seth Henders, Longston McCormick Auditor.
Mark Gabriel, agency counsel.
Sue Barone, agency staff.
Jonathan Epstein, Buffalo News.
Jim Fink from WBFL Radio.
Rob Creenan, Niagara Gazette.
Wayne Ferrer from Amish Joy.
Thank you. Could we stand for the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'm looking for a motion for the approval of the minutes of February 12, 2025. I have a motion. I have a motion, Mr. Berube. Do I have a second? Mr. Massey? Please take a 30 seconds or so to take a look at it. If you have any questions, they'll be answered at that time. The motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson.
All right, committee reports, finance and audit committee.
Good morning, everybody. This morning, the Finance and Audit Committee met and discussed our audit finding reports as well as our standard agency tables and budget variance report. At this time, can I have the folks from Lumsden, McCormick give a brief overview on the audit findings for the good of the board as a whole?
Good morning. So as mentioned, we discussed earlier the package in front of you. So we did audit the 5 entities for December 31st, 2024. The IDA, Niagara County Development Corp., Niagara Area Development Corp., Niagara Economic Development Fund, and the Niagara Industrial Engineer Associates. All 5 audits have separately issued final statements and have unmodified opinions that their statements are materially correct in accordance with all accounting standards. The NCIDA also includes various other reports for compliance with internal controls and compliance, including federal grants and investment guidelines for the PAAA, and all of those reports had no findings. Also no findings in the material weaknesses. So overall, just very positive audit results, and financially everything was positive. Net incomes and really good fund balances. We're in a good position overall on those aspects. So overall, audit went really well. Smoothly went on as planned. So just all positive results from the audit.
Wonderful. While you're standing there, does anybody have any questions or comments for the folks from the audit from Lumsden McCormick? Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. With that, I would recommend make a recommendation to the board to approve the audit report as presented. I will move that. Can I get a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful. Thank you. Next up, 6.1.2, agency payable. This morning, the Audit and Finance Committee met and reviewed our agency payable. Found them to be in order and recommend that we present to the board, or that we report to the board as presented. I will move to accept the agency payables. Can I get a second? Wonderful. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And then thirdly, the budget variance reports through the end of February. Again, the Audit and Finance Committee met this morning and reviewed the budget variance report, both month to date and year to date, and found everything to be in order. I will move to present to the board unchanged. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sorry, I ate my words. That's today. Very confusing. Very confusing this morning. I apologize. Okay. So with that, I will turn the committee report back to Ms. Otis.
Governance Committee, Mr. Ross, and Board of Governors.
Yes, we're gonna take up first from the governance committee, the annual board evaluations. You know, that's how we doing type of reports. Mr. Gabriel?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you know, each of the board members complete a formal evaluation, providing grades for a number of areas. We have received 8, not 9, as mentioned. Mr. Cliff Scott, as of the first of the year, when these evaluations were to be taking place, has moved back to Ohio and is no longer a board member. That's why it's based on 8 individuals, not 9. But there are no findings that would require any corrective measures. The evaluations went well. There are 2 small somewhat agrees that we're going to reach out to those board members to make sure they're comfortable and have any questions that the staff can help them with to walk it through the agency. But overall, a very nice board evaluation. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Gabriel. Now we're moving to the next page. Is that the election of the chairperson? Or
Yes.
don't we have to reaffirm the government charter first?
You will, but not here.
Okay.
But thank you.
I want to make sure we did it right.
You did. At this time, under 7.0, it's always my pleasure to step in for the election of the chairperson. At this particular time, I am looking for nominations for chairman of the Niagara County IDA, NCDC, and NADC going forward. Do I have a nomination?
I will nominate Mark Onesi.
Do I have a second?
Yep. Second.
Mr. Ross, second. Do I have any other nominations for chairman? Hearing none, I direct the secretary to cast 1 vote for Mr. Mark Onesi and congratulate him on his election as chairperson of the Niagara County IDA, NCDC, and NADC. And at this time, I turn the meeting back over to Mr. Onesi, our chairperson.
And I did cast the vote.
Okay. 7.2, election of officers. At this time, I'd like to set forth the proposed slate. And are there any nominations for any of these, first of all? But I have a slate that I could even see if we get through. First vice chairperson, Jason Krempa. Second vice chairperson, Ann McCaffrey. Secretary, Bill Ross. Assistant Secretary, Mark Berube. And the Treasurer, Andrea Klozak.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none at this time, the secretary is again directed to cast 1 vote for each of those in their respective offices. Have you done so?
I cast 1 vote for the newly elected officers. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir.
7.3, you can see it in your packet, I believe, right? Is it in everybody's packet? Okay. The appointment of committee members and committee chairpersons for the Finance and Audit Committee, Jason Kremper, chairperson, and Ryan Mahoney as members. The Governance Committee, Mr. Ross, David Massey, and Mark Berube. The NCDC Loan Committee and Micro Grant Committee, myself. Jason is the chairperson for that. Michael Taylor, there's a vacancy for an accountant. Eric Tudor, Kevin McMullen, and Andrea Klozak as the members. And then the Cataract Grant Fund. We have the Honorable Robert G. Bork, the Honorable Angelo Morinello, our Senator, and Bork as our Senator, Mayor Robert Bastano, myself, Mr. Ross, Paul Brown, President of the building of the Niagara County Building and Trades Council, and Andrea Klozak, the Executive Director of the NCDC. Any questions? Any other nominations?
That the committees are your at your direction, not a vote.
7.4, we need to ratify the board meeting dates and times. Are there any questions? The second Wednesday of the month, any questions, changes, comments? I need a motion for that. Mr. Krepko,
I'll second.
Mr. Ruby, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. The one change was this one, March, this is the third week, but we usually do that in March, so next year we'll probably do the same thing. All right, 7.5, Mr. Gabriel, the Finance and Audit Committee charge.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We're gonna take each one of these all the way down through 7.10. At this time, we're gonna ask the board, upon recommendation from the Finance and Audit Committee, to reaffirm the committee charters. This one for the Finance and Audit Committee charter under 7.5.1 will require a motion and a second.
I will move.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. On 7.5.2, the Governance Committee Charter, as recommendation from the Governance Committee, I will need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Thank you. Second, Mr. Massey. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. On 7.6, we're gonna reaffirm our mission statement that is in our package. At this time, I will require a motion and a second. Mr. Brewery looked at me, that's his motion. Second.
I will second.
Mr. Krimpa. All in favor?
Aye.
Second? Or, excuse me, opposed? None? 7-0. Thank you. At this time, we're gonna reaffirm our uniform tax exempt policy as presented to you in the package. I'll need a motion and a second.
I will move.
Jason?
Second.
Bill Ross? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We will require the Niagara Industrial Incubator Associates, NCIDA, the appointment of Andrea Kleizak for a representative of the agency when dealing with our partner at the NFTA. I will need a motion and a second.
I will move.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, thank you. On 7.9, on the Niagara Niagara Industrial Incubator Company, another entity where 50-50 partnerships with the NFTA on the buildings. We'll also need a motion to appoint Andrea Kleizak.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And finally, on 7.10, for the Niagara Economic Development Fund, NEDF, which the agency has one seat on that fund board, the appointment of Andrea Kleizak to that seat. I'll need a motion in a second.
I will move.
In a second.
Mr.
All-
Massey, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. At this time, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, I will turn this over to Mr. Dudley for the risk assessment and management letter.
Thank you, Mark. 7.11, risk assessment and management letter is a standard disclosure that's required by PAAA and the Pairs Reporting System with the Office of the State Controller. It covers the NCIDA, NCDC, and NADC. Any questions? If not, they need to.
Yes, we'll need a motion.
We need a motion in a second.
So moved.
Mr. Krupka and Mr. Ruby.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Go ahead, Mike.
7.12, NCIDA real property assessment, and again, as a standard disclosure required for the IDA, and it just lists properties of the IDA, the buildings and such. So we'll need a motion and a second for that as well.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
you. The next item, 7.13, annual investment reports. There's a separate investment report for the NCIDA, NADC, and the NCDC. Basically, it's just a listing of all of our assets and year-to-date balances and year-to-date, end of year balances and year-to-date interest income on those investments. And again, this is a standard disclosure required by PAAA and the parish reporting system. So we'll need a motion and a second on those as well. Those can be taken all together, Mark.
Yeah, the end.
I will move.
Mr. Kemper? Mr. Mahoney? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 7.14, refer the administrative policy, Mr. Gabriel.
Thank you very much. As been a tradition, at this time, we reaffirm all the administrative policies. Policies have been provided again, as most recently updated to the board. Everyone should still have their original policy packages provided earlier this year, which has all the updated policies contained within them. At this time, we'd ask for a motion and a second to reaffirm these administrative policies for 2025. I'll need a motion
I will move.
and second.
I'll second.
Mr.
Great.
Mahoney?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, thank you very much. On 7.15, we have the 2024 annual report summaries. Once again, we will need a motion and a second on this.
I'll make a motion. Mr. Massey, need a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Mahoney? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And finally, on 7.16, the 2024 annual measurement reports as provided herein. We'll need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Mr. Ross, any second?
I'll second.
Mr. Palooza, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Your turn, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, any unfinished business? Having none, new business, 9.1, Niagara crispy crunchy fried chicken. Mr. Gertz?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The existing Hyatt in downtown Niagara Falls seeks to attract Church's Chicken, and they are applying for a sales tax exemption. The Niagara's Crispy Crunchy Fried Chicken will bring a Church's Chicken to the Hyatt, which will offer a option for dining, excuse me, got a little something in my throat. An option for dining where we have very limited options currently. This location will be placed inside Census Tract 211, which is defined by federal poverty rate and New York State unemployment rate.
Any questions? Any comments?
I think the only thing is Andrea was provided, the agency was provided with some support letters in regards to this.
We've had conversations with Destination Niagara and some of the hoteliers, just reaffirming, I think what we already probably know, and just that, this is a tourism destination and there's a need for additional restaurants and food options. That's what we've heard over and over again, not just, from the hoteliers in Destination Niagara, but especially from some of the conventions. So it's difficult for the convention
Additionally, this is a sales tax only exemption, correct?
That is correct.
As opposed to a pilot or motor tax exemption or anything else. So this
That is
only
correct.
non-construction equipment.
That is correct.
Any other questions or comments? I need a motion. Mr. Crumpler? I need a second. Mr. Mahoney? All in favor? Any opposed? I need a roll call.
William Ross,
Yes.
Jason Krempa,
Yes.
Mark Ruby,
Yes.
Ryan Mahoney,
Yes.
David Massey,
Yes.
Mark Bonacci.
Yes. 9.2 Rainbow Street Cravings LLC, Mr. Hurts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, to expand on what Andrea just said, we have another dining option with Jamba Juice and Carvel looking to occupy space in another hotel downtown at the Wingate. Again, these recognizable brands help keep the visitors in the downtown area. And like the previous project, this is also in the census tract 211, as defined by the federal poverty rate and New York State unemployment rate. And again, this is a sales tax only application.
Any questions? Any comments? And I need a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Ross? Mr. Crumpler? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And a roll call.
William Ross,
Yes.
Jason Krempa,
Yes.
Mark Ruby,
Yes.
Ryan Mahoney,
Yes.
David Massey,
Yes.
Mark Bonacci.
Yes. 9.3 NCDC micro enterprise plan approvals, Ms. Sloan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The IDA staff applied on behalf of the county for additional microenterprise grant funds from the New York State Office of Community Renewal. All our recent grant funds have been expended. The renewal application was approved recently for an additional $300,000. All applications submitted are reviewed for eligibility, and the grant funds will only be reimbursed to the applicant after they have provided sufficient receipts. The agency held an NCDC committee meeting on March 12th. At that time, each one of these projects was reviewed by the committee to recommend approval to the board. 9.3.1 Falcon Aircraft Maintenance LLC is a startup business that will provide aircraft maintenance services for small aircraft in Western New York region and surrounding areas. They're located in a hangar at the Niagara Falls Airport and will offer both on-field and ferry-in maintenance services. They worked with SBDC to submit their application. They will be hiring one full-time low to moderate income individual as an additional mechanic. They're requesting a $25,000 micro enterprise grant. This grant request was unanimously approved by the committee for recommendation to the board.
Any comments? That's a very good project.
I agree. Just as a side note, in committee, a couple weeks ago, the committee was, relatively excited about the opportunity we got, a service. We've got a few professionals that are skilled and a service that is lacking in the county as a whole. So this is a nice, while it's a relatively small request, it's a nice piece of equipment.
There's only two other places that this can be done, and the length of time waiting for those to get done is months.
That's what I understand.
And this will,
And Mr. Chairperson, Community College has been working on a curriculum for maintenance for those type of jobs, which we need, which you've made that point. So this is nice, it's coming together, because for about 2 years, working on that curriculum, so it should help.
any comments or staff? Is that the
I'm sorry, assuming I am.
Any other questions or comments? We need a motion.
I will.
Mr. Crumpler? And Mr. Ross?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Need a roll call vote?
William
Yep.
Ross,
Yes.
Jason Krempa,
Yes.
Mark Ruby,
Yes.
Ryan Mahoney,
Yes.
David Massey,
Yes.
Mark Bonacci.
Yes. Okay, 9.3.2, PR Wooden Chiropractic.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 9.3.2, Timothy R. Woodian Chiropractic and Massage Therapy, PLLC, has recently opened his business named Nautical Alignment Chiropractic and Massage on Lake Street in Wilson. The company will offer chiropractic care, massage therapy, and wellness services. They worked with SBAC to submit their business plan and application. The owner qualifies as low to moderate income and plans to hire a receptionist. The business has requested $25,000 from the Microenterprise Grant Program. This grant request was unanimously approved by the committee for recommendation to the board.
Any questions? Comments? Another one that was approved wholeheartedly by the committee.
Exactly, and the only comment would be that I think the committee overall was, pleased that, there's additional services going into, what is a slightly sparsely populated area.
Good point. Any other comments? I need a motion.
I don't move.
Mr. Krupka? Need a second?
Second.
Mr. Ross? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I need a roll call, please.
William Ross?
Yes.
Jason Krupka?
Yes.
Mark Ruby?
Yes.
Ryan Mahoney?
Yes.
David Massey?
Yes.
Mark Bonesi?
Yes. Okay. 1, consultant, fee, Mr. Plaza.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So staff issued 2 RFPs, one for the underwriting and assistance in the management of our loan funds, the other for the oversight and assistance in management of our grant funds through OCR. You received 3 responses. Sickerman and Associates, H. Sickerman was the most qualified and did an exact review and also the lowest price, so we asked the committee, one consultant.
Are there any questions? Any comments? I need a motion.
I'm sorry, one quick question. The other requests that went out, were they also local companies or were they not?
They, one was, I guess in Divide, I think in the Western New York area, not in Niagara County, the other one was not, Western New York area.
Mhm.
Yeah, need a motion.
I will.
Need a second? Mr. Ruby? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I need a roll call, please.
William Ross?
Yes.
Jason Krupka?
Yes.
Mark Ruby?
Yes.
Ryan Mahoney?
Yes.
David Massey?
Yes.
Mark Bonesi?
Yes. Great. 10.0, Mr. Gabriel, Agency Counsel.
Yeah, just one quick reminder to the board. If you remember at the last meeting, we had approved a preliminary resolution for the Cinco Bay project, which is not on today's agenda. I just wanted to remind the board that in this particular case, because of the size of the project, lead agency for secret purposes will be the town of Wheatfield. Before we can take a final action and consider the project, it has to complete and receive a negative declaration from the lead agency. Even though we're going to be an involved agency, we're not lead agency. Therefore, we're waiting for the negative declaration to be issued by the town of Wheatfield before it appears on our agenda for consideration. Just as a reminder going forward.
Great. Any other information? Okay. Anything the board wishes to discuss? I want to thank you all for your confidence. I appreciate it so much. Our next regular meeting then is April 9th.